Hey guys, what's going on? Erika, Leigh, Eleight Massage Therapy. I'm a PTA, licensed massage therapist, and a certified strength and conditioning specialist. In this video, I'm going to go over how to treat your own neck pain with some really simple moves. So, let's check it out. Okay, so before we go into it, let's go over a little bit of what causes neck pain. Unless you've had some sort of injury or you've been in a car accident, a lot of the time neck pain is caused by bad posture, right? I'm sure you've been told that before. And so many of our jobs and our situations and our day-to-day life put us in that situation where we are creating a bad posture and poor setup for our neck. So a lot of times people are working at computers, sitting down, doing whatever they're doing, and they end up in this forward shoulder rounded position. So the shoulders get drawn forward. Okay, so what happens when the shoulders get drawn forward then is the neck comes forward and down, and then we need to do this thing to be able to see. We tilt our head up just a little bit. So that crunches the top part of our neck and puts all this stress coming through the back of the shoulders and the upper traps, right up into the suboccipitals. I know a lot of people usually have pain either at the base of the head or in the shoulder blade area, upper traps, that sort of thing. A lot of that has to do with our posture. So let's go over some ways to both correct the posture and, just be self-aware of what you're doing throughout the day. All right, guys, so here I am seated in a chair, how we normally sit in a chair, how I see everybody sit in their chair throughout the day, right? I'm slouched, I'm leaned back in my chair. I have roundedness in my shoulders, I'm rounded in my low back, my head is forward, and to keep my eye line straight, I have to lift my head up a little bit. So if I'm trying to look out ahead of me, my head is forward, shoulders rounded, slouched position, and I'm putting a crunch. I'm putting a crunch right through, the base of the skull there. So just to be able to see. So now in this rounded position, this is where you're getting a lot of stress through a lot of the cervical muscles. So I know a lot of times you might experience some pain like right at the base of the neck or down in through the shoulders, shoulder blade areas, and this is due to that rounded forward head position. Okay, so this is a little bit better seated position. It might not be natural feeling, but the more you settle into it, the more natural and comfortable it feels. So I'm scooted towards the front of my chair, and usually when I'm at a computer or trying to type or do anything, I scoot right up to the edge of my chair so my legs are kind of tucked underneath my chair, and I end up with a reverse curve in the low back. So instead of being rounded, right? Instead of being rounded in the low back and shoulders forward, the low back becomes a reverse curve or a lordosis here, and it brings your head, shoulders, and neck back into the position where it should be. Right? So just correcting your lumbar spine, straightening your low back, helps to bring your head, neck, and shoulders back into a natural rested position where you're taking the strain off of all the muscles in the neck. So if this isn't comfortable for you just to sit here, what you can do instead is take a lumbar support, small pillow, anything like that, and just place it behind your low back. As long as you've got that support there and keeping yourself in an upright position, allow the shoulders to rest down, you're now able to keep your head, neck, and shoulders back in a more neutral position, taking the strain off of all those muscles in the neck. Okay, so moving on up the spine from the low back to the mid back. Some of the time, our strain in our cervical neck comes from a lack of mobility in the thoracic spine, which is the mid-back area pretty much between your shoulder blades and your head, right? So that spot right, kind of for females, right at the bra line, guys, just right below your shoulder blades, is what we're going to be addressing, your mobility right in that spot. So to do that, again, we've got our foam roll here. It doesn't have to be this big. In fact, you can even use maybe a small ball or something more squishy and not as solid as this. We're gonna work on a thoracic mobility So I'm gonna put this right behind my back, kind of up towards, again, right below the shoulder blades there. And all you're going to do is work on creating some mobility in your thoracic spine, which is going to translate up into your cervical spine. So all you're going to do, cross your arms if you want, and gently kind of roll back over the spine. This is targeting the thoracic spine. So from the side, it just looks like this. We're keeping our head in a neutral position and just leaning and rolling back over the foam roll. So you don't want to bring your head way back as you're doing this. It's causing, again, undue stress that you don't need. And you don't need to bring your chin down either while you do it, you know? Just kind of keep it neutral position, and gently lean back over the foam roll. So the thoracic spine also has a rotational component, which again translates up into the cervical spine. So our degree of thoracic rotation will affect the degree of cervical or head rotation that we have as well. So we're going to address the thoracic rotation, keeping the foam roll again at the same level, or you can get that ball back there. It could be, you might want to start with a smaller ball, okay? But again, crossing the arms, your head is going to follow your rotation. So not a big movement here. You know, just working in one direction for maybe 10 or 20 repetitions, and then reversing it to the opposite side. From the side, here's what we look like. Again, not going super far into the rotation, because I want to just isolate the thoracic spine. If I do more, you know, I'm kind of bringing in the lumbar spine into that, and it's just not necessary for this motion to focus directly on the thoracic spine. All right, so now that I've got you in this upright position, shoulders back, head back in a neutral position, good posture, what you're now going to do is try some gentle stretches for your neck, okay? Really simply, I'm sure you've all seen this, right? Just tilting the ear down towards your shoulder. You can place your arm underneath your leg to kind of make sure it has an anchor to stay down, because what you don't want to happen is to bring the shoulder up while you're trying to tilt. Everything is staying at a level, you know, nice and level here as you're tipping the ear down towards the shoulder. You're going to hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds. You can adjust it by simply either tilting the head up, and you're going to get more of a stretch through the front, the scalenes and some stuff in the front of the neck, or bring your head down. And what you're doing here then is you're going to feel more towards your shoulder blades, further down through the rest of the traps. Okay, so now that we've gone through some general mobility and stretching exercises, let me show you some simple ways to treat your own muscles now, to help to loosen up the muscles. So I don't know if you've heard of scraping, but I'm going to take you through a crash course of scraping real quick. You can do this. I actually have a scraping tool here that that you can easily, again, shop on Amazon and find, or I'm sure you've got one of these at home, right? Just a spoon. So before all of these tools were created, essentially, a lot of therapists would use the spoon. In fact, in China, and where the whole scraping thing actually started, a spoon is what was used, maybe some jade tools and stuff, but you could do this with a spoon. So go grab your spoon and let's do this. Okay, so some of the principles of scraping here. Now we're not trying to go real deep, we're not trying to damage the skin, so make sure whatever tool that you're using, it's going to have a rounded, smooth line to it, so that, again, you're not damaging your skin. And again, really, really gentle pressure with this. I'm going to first show you with my tool. Okay, so I'm going to do is start at the base of the head. So start up towards the base. You're going to want to put a little bit of stretch on the tissue. So for this to really be effective, to get a nice fascial release, you're going to want to have the tissue stretched a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and look down and away. I'm gonna start at the base of the head, really gentle. My tool is gonna be at like a 45 to a 90-degree angle. So not, trying to glide this way. I'm not trying to shave anything here. You're just very gentle, gentle pressure. Stroke downwards and even back up again. So I'm very, very minutely changing the curve or the angle of which I am applying the pressure in the glide. What this is doing is helping to break up any soft tissue restrictions, any fascial restrictions. Again, guys, really, really gentle. This shouldn't be painful. What you will feel with it though, you might feel a little bit of maybe like graveliness or speed bumps, something like that. And we're aiming to actually break those up a little bit. After you do that, after you've completed with your tool or with your spoon, same idea with the spoon, right? We're just going here and gently coming through. You might notice me again, I might be getting a little red, I'm not sure, I can't see myself. But that's the goal. You're creating a little bit of inflammation, a little bit of redness through the tissue, and actually helping to heal that tissue, stretch that tissue a little bit further. I'm sure now you find that once you've done your scraping, go back into that stretch, and you'll feel like you're able to go a little bit further than what you were doing before. So here we are with our foam roll. All you're gonna do is lay on this bad boy, putting your sacrum down at one end and your head at the opposite end, allowing your spine to be centered along the foam. So now that we're in this position, you're just gonna bring your arms out to the side, palms facing up, and let gravity do the work. That's it. Just lay here. What we're doing here is stretching out the pecs, letting the shoulder blades, again, just kind of rest, let your shoulders rest. Try and bring your hands all the way to the floor and hang out for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. If this is too big of a stretch, you're just gonna bring your arms down to your side a little bit, maybe put your palms down. Bringing your palms down actually gives you a little bit less of a stretch, so that might be a more comfortable position for you. But the goal is to be out nice and wide, palms up, maybe a little bend at the elbows to help deepen the stretch some, and hang out for 3 to 5 minutes. All right, guys, well, that does it for the Treat Your Own Neck video. Make sure you check out the shoulder video, because in that one, I'm gonna actually go through how to correct and strengthen your postural muscles to help keep you in that good upright position to take strain off of your neck. I hope you got some value out of this. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to treat yourself well.